What's the least toxic type of playground surfacing? Crumb rubber is super toxic and it's used in lots of different playground surfaces, but it also has a lot of benefits. What is the alternative? These days, at least in the US, most playgrounds and schools are now made with crumb rubber, either in the form of poured in place rubber flooring, rubber mulch, or as the infill in AstroTurf. And all of these are super toxic. Crumb rubber is recycled and shredded tires, and it just got banned by the EU. And tires are the leading source of microplastics in the world. Crumb rubber has over 100 different carcinogenic chemicals. The dust that comes off of it is easily inhaled, and this has 100 times the toxic VOC emissions as gas emissions from cars. Tires can't be landfilled, so there's lots of them that have just been stockpiled, causes massive fires that can burn for months. Besides from all the toxic stuff, tires also provide a lot of physical benefits, which there's very little maintenance, they're handicap accessible, they provide cushion and prevent children from getting seriously injured when they fall. They last for a pretty long time and they won't get moldy when they're rained on. They will leach toxic contaminants into surrounding soil and then get into local rivers and streams and kill all the salmon. But let's go through the alternatives to see which one truly is the best. Number one, pour in place rubber surfacing. I included it before with crumb rubber, but it can also be made out of straight synthetic rubber and not use old recycled tires. However, this is still super toxic. In 2019, the Ecology Center tested several playgrounds in Washington, D.C., and they found high levels of lead contamination. And then another recent study showed some playgrounds had high amounts of phthalates and neurotoxic flame retardants. 2. Grass. Obviously, grass is great, but it requires maintenance, can't be used indoors, won't work, and basically all the places in the country that experience winter or experience drought. Number 3, sand. Sand is not handicap accessible. It gets dirty as fuck with broken glass, cat poo, and other really creepy things. Not so good. Number 4, wood chips. Now we're talking. Wood chips are cheap, they're relatively non-toxic, and they require very little maintenance. These seem to be a really good option. However, they are not handicap accessible. And what about the flammability? Flammability tends to be something that lots of rubber mulch manufacturers will mention on their websites. But funny enough, there was actually a comparative study done, and they found that composted wood chips were actually the least flammable out of all the different types that they tested. And guess what was actually the most flammable? That's right, shredded recycled rubber mulch. Number 5, what about all that non-toxic or tire-free rubber mulch? It's not made from recycled tires. I don't trust these guys, and that's because you literally cannot make synthetic rubber without benzene and styrene, both of which cause cancer and have been shown to leach out. It's also really expensive. I've actually reached out to these guys and asked for their third-party testing, and they have not gotten back to me. Number 6, the best material for your playground is EWF, engineered wood fiber. This is a finely shredded wood mulch that's from the insides of the trees. So that makes it really soft, and it is designed specifically for use as playground safety surface materials. EWF is tested for levels of soluble hazardous elements such as lead, chromium, cadmium, and arsenic, and EWF provides really good fall protection and can be handicap accessible when it's compressed and knitted together. Engineered wood fiber, EWF, is by far the best option to be using. There are lots of communities across the country that have already gotten rid of toxic rubber mulch and replaced it with better materials. Please share this resource and this video and other videos that I've made with your local city council.